I woke up to the sound of my phone speaking my name. Not ringing. Not a notification ping. It was my own voice, but wrong, slightly higher pitched, stretched, like someone was playing a recording of me at half speed. It came from my nightstand, but the screen was dark. Hey, wake up. We have to go. I froze under the blanket, too scared to even breathe. The words looping once, twice, then cutting off like someone had yanked a plug. The room was dim, moonlight through the blinds, enough to make out shapes. Everything looked normal, but my heart was pounding. That's when I noticed the corner. There's a patch near my closet door where the shadows always gather at night. Usually it's just dark, but tonight, the black seemed thicker, denser, like it was absorbing the light instead of just sitting there. And in it, 2 points of glinting yellow. Not glowing exactly, but catching what little light there was. The eyes moved slightly, as if something had just lowered its head to fit under the ceiling. And then, from my nightstand again, my own voice, whispering, "Don't look at it." I don't know why I did it, but I looked straight at it anyway. The black shape leaned forward, and I swear the room got colder by 10 degrees. My breath came out in quick white puffs. The thing's outline was wrong. No clear edges, like it was made of smoke, but heavier, more solid. It stepped, if you can call it that, out of the corner, and the floorboards groaned under a weight I couldn't see. The yellow reflections were closer now, level with my eyes even though I was sitting up in bed. "Lay back down," my phone said in that warped version of my voice. "Lay down and close your eyes." That's when I realized something awful. My phone was still off. I could see the black, lifeless screen in the moonlight. The shadow moved again, and for the briefest second I thought I saw legs. Thin, too long, ending in something like a dog's paws, but backward. I bolted. I didn't think, didn't grab anything. I just ran out of my bedroom and down the hall toward the kitchen, my bare feet slapping against the wood. And halfway there, I realized I couldn't hear my own footsteps anymore. It was like someone had hit mute on the world. No hum from the fridge, no creak from the floorboards, not even the faint rush of blood in my ears. My footsteps were still hitting the ground. I could feel the impact in my legs, but they made no sound. That's when I noticed the light. The kitchen should have been dark except for the weak moonlight spilling in from the window above the sink, but now there was a soft white glow coming from the back door. Not bright, just enough to trace the outline of the frame. Every instinct screamed at me not to go near it, but there was something moving on the other side. At first I thought it was a person, but the outline shifted in ways that didn't make sense. Taller, shorter, then low to the ground like it was crawling. Then it straightened again. I could make out the shape of a head and a cap. A nurse's cap. She leaned close to the glass, and even in that dim light, I saw her face. She wasn't breathing, and her lips moved in silence. Only then did the sound rush back in all at once. My pounding footsteps, the groan of the house, and from the door, faint but sharp. "Don't let it follow you here." I didn't wait to hear more. I yanked open the basement door and took the stairs 2 at a time, thinking I could get out through the cellar door that leads into the backyard. But halfway down, something was off. The basement was circular. That's impossible. My basement is a standard rectangular layout, low ceiling, cinder block walls. But here, the walls curved endlessly, smooth and pale. No windows, no shelves, no furnace, nothing. Just a single wooden staircase spiraling down into the center. I looked up. The doorway I'd come through was gone. Just more of the same unbroken wall stretching up, higher than it should have been. The steps under my feet creaked, and I realized they weren't attached to anything. They hung in midair, floating over a drop I couldn't see the bottom of. I turned to run back up, but the stairs behind me had vanished too. Now there was only one way, down. From below came the sound of claws scraping against wood, and the faint panting of something huge. Somewhere in the dark, a deep growl rolled upward, and then a voice, not mine this time, whispered, "We've been waiting for you." The growl turned into a wet, hacking breath, like whatever was down there had been running for a long time and had finally caught the scent it wanted. I took a step back, but the stair behind me dissolved into the dark, gone like it had never existed. My only choice was to keep moving forward. Each creak of wood under my feet felt like a countdown. The air got thicker the further I went, heavy with the smell of damp earth and something metallic, like rust or old blood. Then I saw it. The dog. Except calling it a dog doesn't really fit. Its body was too big, wrong proportions, legs that bent twice before the paws, a neck too long for its frame. The fur wasn't fur exactly. It was more like the absence of light, a shape cut out of reality itself. Where the eyes should have been, there was nothing, just smooth darkness. It padded up the stairs toward me, silent except for that horrible breathing. When it stopped, it lowered its head and opened its mouth. Not teeth, not a tongue, a black void, yawning wider than the skull should allow. And from inside it, I heard my phone's warped voice again. Go back to bed. I don't remember deciding to move. My legs just reacted. I turned and ran up the staircase, even though I couldn't see where it ended. The steps beneath me shifted, stretching like they were being pulled away from whatever was holding them together. My feet slipped on smooth wood, but I didn't dare stop. That breathing was right behind me now, impossibly fast for how big it was. Then cold. Something clamped around my ankle. It wasn't a paw. It was more like a hand. Bony fingers, too many joints, nails that scraped against my skin. The pull was sudden and violent. My stomach lurched as I felt myself dragged downward. I grabbed the stair railing, except there was no railing. My fingers clawed at empty air until they caught on something rough and splintered. I held on with everything I had, my shoulder screaming as the thing yanked harder. The growl rose into a sound I can only describe as a laugh. And then, somewhere above me, I heard the faint click of my bedroom lamp turning on, followed by the unmistakable creak of someone, or something, sitting down on my bed. I blinked, and I was there. No falling, no stairs, no black dog. Just me, sitting upright in my bed, the lamp glowing on my nightstand. For a second, I thought maybe I'd dreamed the whole thing. My heart was pounding, but the room was warm again, the air still. Then I saw my phone. It was face up beside the lamp, screen black, but the speaker was crackling softly. I leaned in, and the static resolved into a faint voice, not warped this time, but clear. A woman's voice. You need to leave. It's not the house, it's you. The line went dead, but the phone vibrated in my hand, lighting up with a notification. No number, no message, just a location pin dropped in the middle of a rural road about 20 miles away. And I knew that road. It was where my mom once swore she saw a nurse standing in the middle of the lane at 3 in the morning. A nurse who vanished when the headlights touched her. I don't remember deciding to drive there. 1 second I was staring at the pin on my phone. The next I was pulling my jacket over my shoulders and grabbing my car keys. The night air was colder than it should have been for August. My breath came out in faint clouds as I crossed the driveway. The drive out of town was empty. No headlights in either direction, no streetlights after the last gas station. Just black trees on both sides of the narrow asphalt, crowding closer the further I went. The location pin led me to a stretch with no shoulder, just a shallow ditch on each side. I slowed down. My headlights hit something pale in the distance. A person. She stood in the middle of the road, facing me. White uniform, white cap, hands clasped neatly in front of her like she was posing for an old photograph. Her skin looked gray in the light. Her lips didn't move, but I heard her voice anyway, inside my head. You're late. The car engine sputtered and died. The sudden silence was suffocating. No engine, no wind, just the faint tick of cooling metal under the hood. The nurse didn't move. I tried the ignition, nothing, not even a click. The dashboard lights were dead. My phone screen, too. She started walking toward me. Not fast, just an even, deliberate pace, her shoes making no sound on the asphalt. I gripped the steering wheel hard enough for my knuckles to ache, my brain screaming at me to do something. Anything, but my body felt locked in place. When she reached the hood of my car, she stopped and tilted her head, like she was listening for something far away. Then she raised one hand and pointed to the passenger seat. I turned. Someone was sitting there. At least, I think it was someone. It was shaped like a man, but the face was a blur, as if it had been smeared across glass. It leaned closer, and I swear the air in the car grew heavier, like it was being pulled out through my lungs. Drive, it whispered. The engine roared to life on its own. The headlights cut through the dark, and before I could think, the car surged forward. My foot wasn't on the gas. The nurse was gone. Just the empty road ahead, winding through the black trees. I tried to glance at the passenger seat without turning my head too much. The figure was still there, leaning toward me. Its face was clearer now, not features exactly, but impressions. Eyes too far apart, a mouth that seemed to curve up and down at the same time. Every so often, it twitched, like an image buffering on bad internet. "Where are we going?" I asked before I could stop myself. It didn't answer. Instead, it reached out with one impossibly long finger and tapped my phone, which was sitting in the cup holder. The screen lit up, not with the map, but with a live video feed of my bedroom. The camera was aimed at my bed, and lying there, under the blankets, was me. I nearly swerved off the road. The figure in my passenger seat tilted its head toward the screen, like it was proud of what it was showing me. The version of me on the video was sleeping peacefully, chest rising and falling, one arm draped over the pillow. Then it rolled over. The movement was slow, unnatural, like a puppet being pulled by strings. My face turned toward the camera, but the eyes were open, staring, and the mouth began to move. "You left the door open." My stomach dropped. I glanced at the passenger seat, empty. The car was still moving, faster now, the trees whipping past in a blur. I grabbed the wheel, slammed the brakes. Tires screamed. The car fishtailed to a stop in the middle of the road. The headlights flickered and died. Somewhere behind me, I heard paws on asphalt. The sound was slow at first. Tap, tap, tap. Then faster, claws clicking hard against the road as they closed the distance. I didn't want to look, but my body betrayed me. It was the dog again. The same black void shape, its two long legs bending in impossible ways, mouth hanging open in that yawning absence of light. The lack of eyes made it worse. I couldn't tell if it was looking at me or through me. It broke into a run. I threw the car into gear and floored it. The tires squealed, the steering wheel shuddered in my grip. The speedometer climbed, but the shape in the rear view wasn't getting smaller. In fact, it was getting closer. Then I realized something impossible. Its paws weren't touching the ground anymore. It was gliding, body jerking like it was being pulled forward by invisible strings. The faster I went, the louder a new sound grew under the roar of the engine. My own voice, coming from everywhere at once, saying the same thing over and over. "Go home, go home, go home." Only, I didn't know where home was anymore. The road kept stretching, no turns, no intersections, no landmarks, just an endless black tunnel of trees whipping past. I checked the GPS out of habit. No map, no pin, just one word on the screen: return. The dog was gone from the mirror, but the absence felt worse than seeing it, like it had slipped out of view on purpose. Then the air inside the car shifted, thick, damp, carrying that same metallic scent from the staircase. My breath fogged in front of me, even though the heater was on full blast. Something moved in the back seat. I caught it in the mirror, a shape hunched low, too wide for a person, too narrow for the dog. It leaned forward until it was inches from my ear. "You were supposed to stay in the circle." Before I could react, the road just ended. No shoulder, no ditch, just a wall of smooth, pale stone, curving upward into darkness. And I knew that curve. It was the basement. The car didn't crash. It simply slid forward into the wall like it was made of water, and then I was no longer in the driver's seat. I was standing barefoot on those impossible wooden stairs again, spiraling down into the dark. The air was heavy, every breath tasting like dust and copper. The sound of claws echoed from somewhere far below, but this time, it wasn't moving toward me. It was pacing, waiting. I turned, looking for the way back up. Gone. The steps above dissolved into nothing, leaving only the drop. Then I saw them. Figures on the stairs below, lit faintly from some unseen source. The nurse, the blurred man, and something else, taller than both, its head brushing the ceiling of the circle. They weren't moving, just standing in place, looking up at me. The nurse raised her hand in a slow, deliberate wave, and in my own voice, perfectly clear, she said, "Almost time to lie down." I wanted to run. God, I wanted to. But each step I took down felt like it was pulling me deeper into molasses, my legs heavy, my head buzzing like I was about to faint. The figures stayed perfectly still, their eyes, or the spaces where eyes should have been, fixed on me. The closer I got, the more wrong they looked. The nurse's skin was peeling like wet paper, revealing something black underneath. The blurred man's face rippled, features sliding in and out of place. The tall thing. I couldn't look at it for more than a second without my vision doubling. One more step, and I was level with them. The nurse leaned in, close enough that I could feel the cold radiating off her. She whispered something so softly I wasn't sure I heard it right. "It's already in your bed." Then the tall thing moved. Its arms, if they were arms, wrapped around me from behind, and the world blinked out like someone had switched it off. When my eyes opened, it was morning. I was lying in my bed, sunlight spilling across the floor. Everything looked normal, except the bedroom door was wide open, and my phone was on the nightstand, screen lit, showing a live video feed. From just under the covers, looking straight at my own face,